The MVP race this season has been insane. And right now, there's no clear MVP. So, with that being said, I'm going to get to some of the candidates who could possibly win MVP this year. Starting off with the first player. The first player I'm going to talk about is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Right now, SGA is having a career year. Right now, he's averaging 31 points, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists on 53, 40, and 90 shooting splits. This man has been going insane the whole year. And I really do think he'll be able to keep it up for the whole season. Right now, his team holds a record of 7-9, which puts them 12th in the West. And honestly, I think that's a problem for SGA, because since his team isn't winning much, I don't really think they would give him that MVP award. I think his team has to at least make the playoffs for him to be even considered to get the award. But with that being said, let's move on to the next player. The next player being Ja Morant. Ja Morant is another guy who has been insane this year. Right now, Ja Morant is averaging 28 points, 6 rebounds, and 7 assists. All those numbers are career highs for him. And for his shooting splits, they are 46, 39, and 79. So now let's talk about some of the crazy games Ja had this year. In the second game of the season this year against the Houston Rockets, Ja Morant will have 49 points, 4 rebounds, and 8 assists, to tag along 2 blocks and a steal, with shooting splits of 65, 83, and 76. And then in the game against the Brooklyn Nets, Ja Morant will have 38 points, 8 rebounds, and 7 assists, with 2 steals. And his shooting splits will be 54, 66, and 90. And then in the game against the Utah Jazz, he will go for 37 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists. Moving on to the game against the Celtics, Ja Morant will have 30 points, 8 rebounds, and 9 assists, on shooting splits of 41, 41, and 55. This man Ja Morant has just been insane. And right now his team holds a record of 10-7. That puts them 6th in the West. So I say he have a pretty good chance of winning MVP this year, especially if he keep up this level of play. But let's move on to the next player. That player being, of course, Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell has been absolutely insane. He's playing the best basketball he ever played in his life. This man is having 30-point games after 30-point games. He's been absolutely incredible. It just seems like there's nothing on that court that he can't do. And when he shoots, feel like it's always going in. But now let's get into D-Mitch stats. This season, Donovan Mitchell is averaging 29 points, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists, on 49, 40, and 88 shooting splits. Now let's get into some of his best games so far this year, which is basically every game, but I'm only talk about 5. So up against the Washington Wizards, Donovan Mitchell will have 37 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists, on 41, 41, and 88 shooting splits. And then up against the Boston Celtics, Donovan Mitchell will have 41 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists, on 60, 55, and 100 shooting splits. And then in the very next game against the New York Knicks, Donovan Mitchell will go for 38 points, 3 rebounds, 12 assists, and 2 blocks, on 60, 61, and 75 shooting splits. And then in the game against the Sacramento Kings, D. Mitchell will have 38 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists. And finally against the Charlotte Hornets, Donovan Mitchell will go for 34 points, 4 rebounds, and 6 assists, on 50, 22, and 90 shooting splits. I really do think Donovan Mitchell deserves MVP this year. Maybe that's a little bit of bias, but this man has been absolutely incredible. And right now, I believe he's the best shooting guard in the world. But with that being said, let's move on to the next candidate. With that being Kevin Durant. At this point, you expect this from Kevin Durant, being an elite scorer and one of the best basketball players in the world. He also been doing a bit of playmaking this year. Right now, Kevin Durant is just carrying the Brooklyn Nets. But it doesn't seem like it's going to be that way for long, because now Ben Simmons is hitting the stride. And they also got Kyrie Irving back. But let's get into Kevin Durant's stats. This season, Kevin Durant is averaging 30 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists, on shooting splits of 53, 33, and 92. Kevin Durant in the month of October only dropped below 30 points twice that whole month. I mean, that is absolutely insane. But like I said, you expect that from KD. I think KD may finish top 5 in MVP voting this year, because at the moment, he's literally doing everything for the Nets. But with that being said, let's move on to the next player. With the next player being Luka Doncic. Luka has been nothing short of spectacular this year, and I see him taking his team very far this year, because the Mavs front office actually did something to help him out a bit. But let's get into Luka's stats. Right now, Luka Doncic is averaging 33 points, 9 rebounds, and 8 assists. That's a near triple-double. And for his shooting splits, it's 49, 28, and 76. For the month of October, Luka Doncic did not drop below 30 points. Actually, his lowest scoring game that month was 31 points. That man has been insane. But for the whole season, he only dropped below 30 points twice. His scoring has been crazy the whole year. In the game against the Brooklyn Nets, Luka Doncic will go for a 40-point triple-double. In that game, Luka will have 41 points, 11 rebounds, and 14 assists, on 50, 33, and 84 shooting splits. And then in the next game against the OKC Thunder, Luka Doncic will have a 30-point triple-double. In that game, Luka Doncic will have 31 points, 16 rebounds, and 10 assists. And then to close the month out in October, Luka Doncic will go against the Orlando Magic. In that game, Luka Doncic will have 44 points, 3 rebounds, and 5 assists, And for the month of November, he's just been going absolutely crazy. Right now, for the month of November, Luka Doncic is averaging 31 points, 8 rebounds, and 7 assists. And so far, his team only lost 3 games this month. If Luka can keep up this level of play, he might win MVP this year. But let's move on to the last 2 players. The second to last player I'm going to talk about is Jayson Tatum. Jayson Tatum is absolutely at his peak right now. This season, Jayson Tatum is averaging 30 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 assists on 45, 37, and 86 shooter splits. And right now, his team holds a record of 13-4. Those 4 losses come from the Cavs and the Chicago Bulls. But let's get back to Tatum as an individual. This man has been absolutely insane. And he's obviously one of the best two-way players in the league today. In the month of November, Jayson Tatum and the Celtics will go on a 9-game winning streak. And in that 9-game winning streak, Jayson Tatum will average 30 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists. And of course, he played amazing defense throughout that stretch. He's just incredible. And let's move on to the last guy. With that being, of course, Giannis Antetokounmpo. I honestly think he may win MVP this year because he's obviously the best player in the world. And he's the best two-way player in the world. But let's talk about his stats. This season, Giannis is averaging 30 points, 11 rebounds, and 5 assists. To start the season off, Giannis and the Bucks were going on an 8-game winning streak. And during that 8-game winning streak, Giannis was averaging 32 points, 12 rebounds, and 5 assists. Absolutely incredible. And honestly, right now, he has the best odds to win the MVP this year. But with that being said, that's all I got for this video. Hey, if you made it this far in the video, you might as well like and sub. Or don't, that's your choice. I'm out.